Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session.
Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Back of the Bus Sessions podcast Today's guest. I tell you what, if you ever get trapped on a desert island, he's the man you want with you. Because you want him on speed dial. He can make something out of nothing and nothing out of something.
Hey!
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome André T.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's nice.
Have you say you've listened to some of the podcasts?
Oh, yeah, man.
Have you heard the little sound thing I've got? The little foley of the crowd? Do you like it?
I do like it, yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
Oh, nice. Nice. I like your little introduction as well at the beginning.
Mate, nothing out of something and something out of nothing.
Your deep old farm bus.
Oh, that one. Mate, I thought that was a one-take wonder, I promise you. Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus. How did that feel for you, hearing it come out my mouth?
It's like chocolate, mate.
Yeah. I've always wanted to be like the voice of something. Do you know when you hear it on like adverts?
Oh, yeah, like the Charlie Tuna of Jurassic 5.
Oh, mate, it's really been a dream of mine. Just to like one day have the TV on in the background and you just turn on and look on and they're eating popsicles and it's your voice presenting it all.
Popsicles.
I don't know why I was advertising popsicles then.
That's all right. I'm sure you get some business.
How weird to start us off.
I know, man.
How are you keeping up, dude? You're looking quite creative and busy, to be honest.
Super busy.
Really?
It's so hard finding time for everything at the moment because I'm struggling with all the creative stuff because I'm working full time.
What's work then? What?
So I work as a welder.
Yeah.
So I can weld a fabricator.
You're going to love my van, brother.
Well, I do like, I work in a workshop for this company and we make like precision mesh fabrications.
Okay.
So it's like really niche stuff.
It's what you want, innit, when you've got a business.
Yeah, but it's like super like, you know, it's like I say, it's really niche. It's difficult as well, so it's a big learning process. I've only been at that company for about 18 months.
Okay. Did they like sort of spot you out of somewhere, or did you apply?
No, I just applied.
Okay.
But they offered me some qualifications as well. So I already had like level 2, and they said we'll put you on for the advanced level 3. So it was, snap.
Because you were hardcore and you could do it.
Oh, just because I wanted it, really.
The man.
Yeah. So I get loads of qualifications out of it, which is nice.
Ace, dude.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it there? Do you work with a good
man.
team and that?
Good team, good teacher. It's just, like I say, it's quite a different method of doing things. So it's big learning process.
Because I've genuinely been really keeping up with your YouTube channel. Yeah. And
that's really nice, man. I appreciate that.
So tell the audience like what it is, what you do, and how you got into it, because it's ace.
Thank you, man.
You're a great presenter, great everything.
Oh, I don't know about that. Like, I look back on some of my first videos and I'm like, oh, it's super cringy.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. Like,
nah.
I hate it. But I feel like it's getting better, you know what I mean? As you get more used to it, because you got to think at the end of the day, I'm in there on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to myself, pretending it's somebody. You know what I mean? You get no feedback from that. And like,
this is acting.
Yeah. It's like I'm pretending this camera is a person or an audience. And so that is a bit of a struggle. It's a bit of a teething thing.
So, like, what do you just make everything and anything? Like, are you welding most of the time? Because you made a phone box is one I've seen.
Oh, it was a photo booth.
Photo booth.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And then everything since then, you've just been getting the quality up and up. And even the production of how you do the filmmaking, everything. I appreciate
Andre,
that. Brother, you're smashing it, dude.
That's really kind of you to say. So basically what I do is I make weird and wonderful things. So I try and make... Pretty much, I just decide on what I want to make and just run with it.
Would you? What would give you a first burst of inspiration? What's that moment where you're like, oh, you know what, a photo booth? I've not thought of doing that before.
So the photo booth thing came about because I was at my sister's wedding and she rented one for just 4 hours.
Cool.
And it was like really expensive
to
rent. So it was like 400 quid, I think. So it was like £100 an hour.
And what is it then? So you got one at a wedding, you've got this big box, it's got a camera in it.
Yeah.
And
touch screen.
Quite literally taking photos.
And it prints them out within 10 seconds.
Filters and stuff like that on? Or?
Yeah, mainly backdrops and props and stuff like that. So
And 400 quid for 4 hours.
just for 4 hours, and that
Fucking
was discounted too. That wasn't like
Wow.
So I was thinking, I could make one of those. You know what I mean?
I love people like
I
you,
can
man,
make
that
one of those.
look at something and like, if somebody else has done it, I can do it.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
such an
it.
attitude.
Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, so I was like, right, I'm going to make one. And I've always been interested in making things, always since I was a kid. Like, you know, you get a remote control car for Christmas, and I'd be way more interested in taking it to bits than actually playing with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's how your brain likes to sort of break things down, see how things go together, and then you put it back together, or you're just like, no, that's it now, I've seen that
I'd
bit.
usually try and make it into something else.
Yeah, oh, sick.
Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of doing that. And then I studied.
Just laughing at how opposite we are, because I just want the end product there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care how it gets to that point. I just want it to work.
That's something that I've kind of learned. Like, if you are truly interested in something, you will be involved and interested in the process rather
Yes.
than just the end result.
Hey, what a beautiful way of looking at it, dude. Like,
It's like learning an instrument. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to be in love with the process rather than just
suppose
being on stage. Like,
you have to
it's
be passionate. Like me going up on stages at the first part of Rhythmical Mike, I was always scared and I was always nervous, and some days I forgot my lyrics.
Oh, yeah,
but I didn't
yeah.
thrash myself about for it, because I was like, I want this, I care about this, I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's something I'm not, I can go from last night, for example, but we've got the baby room on the go. It's nearly at its end stage, but we're putting up the blinds. And it was just so simple, but I just couldn't get it to work. Like the drill, the masonry bit wouldn't go into the wall fully.
Oh, so you just...
You might be able to help me, yeah?
You have it on hammer or...
Probably. I think the batteries died as well.
Oh, okay.
But that DIY, man, and I'm not passionate about it at all.
Yeah.
So all I want is a piece of material to come down, block out the light, and then go back up when the
Yeah, and
light's
it's done.
down. I want
Boom.
it. I'm happy.
Finished.
But because I've got to put in this energy, and a lot of people, like even my nan's, like, you're rubbish at DIY.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Nan.
Because they
Last time
film
I'm
me
coming
with
over and
this.
helping you.
they tell me this, and when I actually fail, I just get so frustrated, man. I can't do that working out and being patient with it like you can, because it's not really my passion. I'm just like, fucking work. But you have that perseverance.
I have the perseverance, but the patience sometimes wears thin.
Okay.
When I was working on the photo booth,
Yeah.
it got to the point where I was just like, I just want this to be over.
Oh, man. Go on then. What were some of the hiccups then?
Oh, just little bits and bobs. It was when it was so close to being finished.
Yeah.
And you get like things going wrong. Like mainly it was like software issues and stuff like that. Or,
Okay, so
you make something and then you realize there's a better way of doing it.
Right.
So, and then you make it that way, you know, take it apart, make it the second way. And then you realize, oh no, I made it the first way for a reason.
Oh,
And
yeah,
now
I
it
know
won't
exactly
work.
what you're saying.
So
yeah.
now I've got to go back and do it again. And then when you keep doing that, you just sort of like, oh my God. Because I didn't put any pen to paper really. Like I drew out some sketches and stuff, but I didn't fully plan everything. I didn't
Would
do
that
any
be
engineering
a
drawings.
very wise move in your field and what you do?
No, that's a really stupid idea.
No, I mean, no,
Oh.
sorry. the before, is it all prep? Because for me, and you do filmmaking,
Yeah.
things like that, I like diving in and just putting effects on, then working out what they do and what I can fine tune, and I don't have to plan it too much. But then, in what you're saying in your field, it is better to write it down, plan it all out. You've got a map to follow and to go down there.
Yeah.
Is that better?
I would say so, yeah. I think it depends how you're minded as well. If you're I don't know, some people I'm sure will be fine without putting pen to paper and just wing it. And I usually do that, but I think it is easier to follow plans, or, you know, that's what we do at work. We get a drawing and we make that drawing, you know, to those specifications.
Is it very easy when you've been given that drawing then? Or not easy, but...
Yeah. You're following something. You've got structure, you know. Yeah, definitely. I hate it when we get like a job card and it's just an explanation. I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. Like, I want to see some drawings.
And what happened with this photo booth then? Did you sell it? Have you still got it?
I sold it, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which was nice.
So it ended up,
it was
you went
huge.
through, you were resilient and you got through it.
Got to the
and
end.
it works perfectly. Go on, tell me what do you know?
So it worked perfectly, right?
Yeah.
I was selling it, put it on, just up for auction. Somebody bought it, and it was like, okay, cool, come around and pick it up. I was like, yeah. Gave it a final test, some run through, and the printer just threw a fault. It's one of these die sub printers,
Right.
and it just threw a fault. So I couldn't repair it, couldn't get it sorted in the end. So I just gave him a huge discount for the price of the printer. And said, just buy a new one. It's this model and install it, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
So yeah, that was okay.
So before he'd bought it, it was all working perfect. It was printing off. It was absolutely sound as a pound.
Yeah, it was good.
Isn't that weird with technology though? It's like you keep pressing the exact same button, you know exactly what to do. You press it the same way every day, and then one day you go to your machine and you press it, and it's just like, no, we don't do that anymore.
And it's always printers, right? Why is it always a printer?
It's just so true, dude. But it happens with a lot of my softwares. Logic, for example. Every day I'd drag and drop, because I've got into, through lockdown, sampling music and trying to make beats. I love lo-fi music so much.
Yeah.
So it's got me through lockdown, dude. It's just so relaxing. I put on my edits or whatever I need to do in the day. And it's like my, what do you call it, background noise for the day.
Yeah.
When I'm making stages, people are just like, oh, Mike is around. Lo-fi's just humming somewhere. But I was like, I'm going to create it myself. So all lockdown, I was dragging and dropping files onto the channels, and it would just be cool. I snip it about. One day, I was just putting this file on, and there was just no way it'd work. And it was called a WAV file, so like, do you know the different formats? And I put this WAV file on, and then I typed in on Google, why isn't it working? It's like, oh yeah, Logic doesn't upload WAV files today. I'm like, we can't just decide today that it's not WAV file
on this day.
Yeah, but
yesterday was fine. Tomorrow will be alright.
It's not really worked properly since, so I had to like re-download it and do all this. But it's like how easy it is, malleable to just like break on a day, and you're like, I keep doing the same thing. That's what makes it want to throw out the window.
I mean, yeah, we can send people to the moon, but I struggle to connect my printer to my blooming computer. I mean, it's just one of those.
You have a wicked way with technology, dude.
I don't know if I do.
I think you have. So what do you use? Like, in your filmmaking, you've got a Canon, you say?
I've got a Canon XC10 that I use.
And then do you have what microphone and stuff?
So I've got like a Rode, I've got a Rode video mic that sits on top, just like a little shotgun mic. But it's about 10 years old now.
Is it a Go one?
No, it's older than that. It's
older than the Go's. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a long little, it's long and little at the same time. It's like a shotgun mic. And then I've got a directional mic.
Yeah.
And I've got a Zoom H4n external audio recorder.
How did you get into filmmaking then? What happened?
So I studied film and TV at college for 2 years. I did a national diploma.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that, man.
Why did you go down that route?
I got a little bit into filmmaking when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. So,
we can vibe off this, dude.
Yeah. So, it'd just be like filming stupid videos with my friends on an old camcorder, kind of thing.
What were you doing? Jackass stuff?
Yeah, just jumping into bushes.
Yeah, man.
Skateboard videos.
We're the same guy.
Oh, that's
I swear to God.
Sick. Yeah, so all of that kind of stuff. Just making stupid movies.
Did you ever send them into places?
No, just a few uploads online, shared them with friends.
YouTube and what?
Yeah, back in the day. I think it was like MySpace video.
Okay. You're so old.
Showing my age.
Yeah.
So did a bit of that, and then studied film and TV at college, and then went on to do it at uni. But I didn't actually even finish the uni degree. But I got a job.
Hated uni or?
Just other things. And I realised I was sort of like, I don't know whether I'm want to be making a career out of this. I don't know whether it would be I'm committed enough,
Yeah.
Because for something like that, you've got to make
you really have to be like
sacrifice.
Day and night, don't you?
Day and night, like
You've
my
got
friends.
deadlines to hit.
And no one wants to pay you.
Yeah.
In the beginning, nobody wants to pay you.
Don't get me started. Why don't people value that as a service? Like the creative sector in general, I suppose, but they want flavours for favours, don't they?
Exactly.
They just want you to
I'll pay you in exposure. It's like, dude, who are you exposing me to? Who's your audience?
I don't need more exposure to more people that want to not pay me.
Yeah, exactly.
I like exposure, thank you very much, but unfortunately my family can't eat exposure.
Exactly, yeah. Can't feed my kids on exposure.
Yeah, I've definitely been through a lot of that. And I really don't mind a charity gig and performing at places, but after a while you've just got to, as an artist, select who you give into and what you're doing. Because if you're really good and genuinely awesome artist, but you don't price yourself, people will always take advantage of it.
Always.
And suddenly you go down this pecking order, this line, people don't not respect you, but don't value you.
Yeah.
So then you're never going to get paid as that artist.
Exactly, yeah.
I've seen it happen to some of the greatest people I know, even like, I'll say his name, but like Motormouth. He's one of the best talents I've ever met in my existence, but because he just loves music so much, and he will just play for a packet of peanuts somewhere or bloody a pint. He really don't care. I've seen people just use him for their entertainment all the time. And you're like, no, you know what? You've got to be.
And he brings so much to the table.
Yeah.
He's super talented.
God, everyone wants to be there.
And he's cool, man. He's like super cool.
I've seen like a stage with about 2 people around it turn into like 60 to 100 people just in a second. Everyone's like, he's doing what?
It's crazy.
It's amazing, and that's valuable. Getting people around your stage into your buying your drinks and stuff. So people want out for note nowadays.
They do.
Why
and you've also got it, like I say, with the sacrifice thing. My friend got a job at Channel 5 after uni, and he was living in London, and he was like sharing like a shared house accommodation thing with like 8 other people, and it was costing him friggin' loads of money. And he was working as a runner for Channel 5, and he was just like treated like absolute shit. So, and he hated it. So he gave up. And,
straight out.
He became a media teacher.
Oh, really?
So those who can't do, teach.
Well, I've heard that saying about 10 times today, even. It's very true.
But there's a lot of sacrifice. So I sort of thought, I'm spending all this money on this degree, and am I ever gonna get there? I had a few other things go off as well that swayed my decision. But
what sort of projects were you doing in college and uni though? Because it's one thing I'm a bit envious on. I wished I would have gone down that path and met all the creatives in that field, because I just love it so much. Like, I lose full days to editing because it's so fun. Like, it's definitely my passion, and you know something's your passion when time is irrelevant. You're like, there's no time today. Like, Chrissy can go out in the morning to school, and then I'm like in this little man cave, and then suddenly she turns back and I'm like, hey up, what are you doing back here? You forgot dinner. And she's like, no, it's home time.
Oh man, yeah. So you get proper involved.
I just love it. So I'm a bit envious that I've not met them people and got to have fun with, you know, like different filmmakers, I suppose. So what were you making?
Touching on what we were talking about earlier, for me, I'm not a big editor guy. Like, you know, sat in a dark editing suite, staring at a screen all day, for me, isn't always an enjoyable experience.
Hellhole.
It's something that I want to, maybe not a hellhole, but it's not something that it is like enjoyable for me.
Right, I get you.
I really was into the planning of things, you know. Which is weird because it's like the opposite of what I've been doing in the garage, like not planning anything and just going
for
ahead.
it. Okay.
But yeah, with film, I really like storyboarding stuff.
Oh yeah.
Going on like location scouting and stuff like that, and really.
So when you get like a first initial idea, you get this buzz, and you're just like, right, what can we do?
That's what we want. Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man.
Exactly. So that was kind of my bag, and then the actual production side of things, I really enjoyed. But we did loads of projects. We made magazine shows which were shot like live, or as live as it's called, like recorded as live, like what we're doing right now.
Oh, is this as live?
As live, yeah. So it's like a production where it's filmed as though it's live, but and then released later.
Yes.
At a later date.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did that, and that's like multi-camera setup and stuff. So that
this
was
is the Old Farm Bus live. Please don't say fuck or bugger. Have you seen Bo Selector?
Yeah.
Straight stolen. That's cool. I tell you what, I really find that funny when I'm doing this film technique that I think I've just created out, and I'm like, I've got something here. And then you tell somebody about it, it's like, yeah, that's called this. And you're like, oh, there's always a term.
Yeah.
There's always something I've done and I think I've created. I do that with philosophy a lot.
Really?
I'm like, I've got this genius idea that might be, and it's like, Plato said that about a million years ago. All right, did he now?
Nice.
Thought he might have. Yeah. But same with, it helps so much. Like, I like to be naive with things because you will go in blind, but that can be a blessing and a curse.
Oh, totally. You learn so much more from that.
Exactly. And I've had it as somebody who's trying to be offensive to me once. He's like, oh, you're so naive when you do stuff. And I'm like, well, isn't that good? Because I'll go and meet people that most people would be like, oh, I'm not talking to you. You're big bollocks. And I'm like, that's just a person.
Yeah.
Something like. So I've got a lot of naivety in lots of things I do and approach. And with filmmaking, it was really good because I did lots of bits, but I've also realised the beauty of education and learning because there's sometimes like you've really helped me in a lot of ways and you told me about audio and things like that much, and I started searching YouTube tutorials through the internet, and one thing this was doing was like, have you heard of audio drifting?
No.
So that's a
I'm
thing.
not a huge audio guy.
Okay,
well, I like it, but I've had to learn from others on that aspect. It's pretty rusty for me.
It's when you're synchronizing the film and the audio together, and then it goes out of sync.
Oh yeah, of
like
course.
later on. So it's audio drift.
Right. Okay.
But it took me a day to just learn that word. I was just like maybe a few hours. But when I found out what it was, I could actually like diagnose it and then go down the path of how I fix it.
Okay.
So sometimes it really does help.
So it's synced up in the beginning, and then by the end,
it's all out.
Gotcha.
Oh man,
so that's like a cumulative error.
That took me so long to fix, dude. It don't do it anymore, but that took me a good like.
So is this all externally recorded then?
Yeah, so what I did...
Is that what the clap was?
Yeah, the clap, yeah. But
I do that too.
It's recording on the cameras as the SD cards, and then on here it's Logic, and then I put them together after.
Yeah. Sync up the peak.
But because it's so long...
On the waveform.
Yeah, it's... what I have to do on here, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tech heads enjoying this.
They're probably like going to be like, these guys know nothing.
Yeah. Why didn't you just press button A? But it was great when I found it. Do you know when you get through that hurdle?
Yeah.
And it was so painful, and I was just like, Chrissy, my podcasting days are over.
I quit. Like,
I'm done.
Crying in the shower.
It's called a thing where you have to do stretching on Logic.
Right.
And you have to get the audio, get that audio from the film, put them together, and then do a stretch.
Right.
Honestly, I remember the day. Do you know? Do you play games like Xbox or anything?
Oh, back in the day, I had a few. I used to work at Game Station when I was a kid.
Sick.
And I bought an Xbox 360 because I worked at Game Station,
why not?
so I should get into it.
Yeah.
And I just used it as a really expensive DVD player.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do now.
Yeah.
I bought the new Xbox One and we have not played anything. Well, we played a game called Unravel and it's so sick. And what I was saying with that is like, on like Tekken or something, when you've fucking trying to batter this boss and you spent the whole day on it, and that moment you're on the last bit and it goes and you're like, I've done it. That's literally how much I celebrated when I found out the stretching.
Oh, good for you, man.
Thank you, brother. You can feel the energy, can't you?
Nice,
like, you know that journey.
I do. I totally do.
And I was going to ask you on behind that, like, why do you know that? Have you been through a pain where you were like, couldn't do it, or a hurdle where it was just hard work?
A lot of it's hard work, man. For me, I was when I first started the YouTube thing, which wasn't even that long ago, I was taught to edit on Final Cut Pro 6.
Old schooling, yeah.
Going back some years, show my age, don't like it, but...
So young.
But, so yeah, the most similar one that I could find and get hold of was Final Cut Pro 7.
Okay.
So I was editing on that, and of course it's such old software now. So like the camera that I was using it didn't like work with the old software, so I was constantly like having this battle.
Right.
Managed to kind of get it working to a point where I could actually edit and release videos. But for me, that was absolutely like super frustrating.
Okay.
And then I finally made the jump. I was like, right, I'm gonna get a new camera. And then, of course, that camera didn't work with my old editing software. So it's like, right, now I need some new editing software. So I'll take the leap and I'll go for Final Cut Pro 10, like the newest version. £300, I think.
Yeah, it's expensive, isn't it?
So
you get a Mac for like a few grand, and then you're like, Logic 200, Final Cut 300.
Exactly.
Come on, guys.
But another thing that happened, because I then was like, okay, right, Final Cut Pro, I'll take the jump and I'll learn this new editing software. Even though it's still Final Cut, it's still totally different to what I was used to on the 6 and 7. So I was like, yep, take the leap, do it. And then, of course, now my Mac, which is like a 2011,
Oh, wow.
can't run the software.
Yes.
So it's like, now I've got to buy
a new Mac. Wow.
So like,
Wow.
great, like boom, outlay. And then it was like, now I can't even afford to like buy any material to make any projects or anything like that. So it like really set me back, all of that. So that was the most frustrating thing in recent times.
Just absolutely spunking money away.
Just ruined me.
1, 2, 3,
Oh
4,
yeah,
5. Yeah.
dude, I was so close to just.
I mean, they're
selling
knobheads.
my
That
body.
I absolutely love Apple. I love it. It's really convenient. I understand it now. I've got all the little like intricate details you need to do with it, pressing commands. But fucking hell, they know how to rip you and rinse you of money, don't they?
They do.
Like even now, like who didn't like USBs?
Yeah.
Everyone was fine. They're
Totally
absolutely
fine.
sound. And then suddenly like, what about this USB-C?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we'll
How
go
about
with
C-port?
it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, but it is another like 80 quid to buy this port so you
And
can
if you
get
don't
all
have
the
it,
other
you've
ports.
got to get an adapter.
It's
Like,
so
come
daft.
on, guy.
And on your phone, didn't they get rid of the
Yeah.
aux?
Why?
Who doesn't want an aux?
Everything works with an
For
aux.
the- my
it's been
whole
technology
life
for like
was
years.
aux related. Yeah, they just take the piss, man. But it is so good. Like when you're in, it's hard to break away because I love like I can from my phone just airdrop and it pings on,
Nice.
pop it in, take away. Are you a Mac man then through and through?
So I've got an old MacBook Pro
Yeah.
from back in the day, and then now I've got like a new shiny iMac that I
Right.
literally only use for editing,
Okay.
which is good. So computer wise, Apple all the way.
Yeah.
But phone wise, I'm a total Android man.
Yes,
But,
baby.
Like, I got like a new phone and. I'm like no case in it, which is super.
Ooh.
Everybody goes crazy when they see my phone. Like, what? You've not got a case on your phone? It's like, no, man.
Have you had that like scary moment drop yet?
I dropped it the day I got it.
Really?
The
There's
day.
always that story.
Because it's so no case,
Slippery.
so slippery. It's like, who the fuck designs these? They look nice, man, but
Just going back towards Final Cut and things. Have you ever lost files?
oh,
Why do I feel like I've just punched you in the face
I've lost so many
hard
files.
then?
I've filmed for an entire day, uploaded it, and then like got hit with like a corruption error or something.
Oh, matey.
So bad. Usually it's not been on my computer so much. It's been like on like if I've used like a cheap SD card,
Yes,
and the
yeah,
SD
yeah.
card is just boom.
It did something to me on
And then you go and you try and repair it, and it's like, oh yeah, you buy this software.
Yeah, oh, it's because they know it exists
Yeah,
and they know,
yeah, they know it's a problem.
your amount of pain that you're going
Yeah,
through.
this guy's gonna buy this. He's upset.
Come to the dark side.
That's it.
I remember this is quite a funny story, and I don't. If the person watching this, the organizer of this event, is watching it, I'm so sorry, just in advance. My mum got me to go to Chatsworth.
Okay.
And I'm filming a Olympian horse rider, and he'd won
Wow.
golds. He'd been around the world. I'll just flip me back on.
Oh, you got the 30-minute thing
Yeah, we can talk about that next.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that goes
forever.
forever. That maybe you can help me hack it and
It's
get rid of
unhackable.
that.
I think it's just a thing
Just
with
does
certain
it.
cameras. Yeah.
God's
if you're
sake.
shooting in a
Yeah,
HD
it's to do with the rules and regulations, isn't it? Basically, to get more money,
Probably.
because you can class that as a video camera, but you can't class that as a video camera.
just
and
a DSLR, right?
And yeah, and that's why they cap it, and it's literally just so they can charge more, for the
camcorder, yeah, the video.
It's just jokes. another cruel company that know our pain.
Evil.
So anyway, I was in a Chatsworth house, and I'm filming this Olympian rider. And honestly, like a part of me, I'm dyslexic, and another part that's been undiagnosed, but I just forget stuff all the time. Like my keys, my phone, my wallet, everything.
Yeah.
I've put it there, I've gone.
That's humanism, right?
And it's definitely humanism.
I do that too.
but
What are we diagnosing that?
It's deep. It's like
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
Every day. And this time, I was like, my mum's turning up to the show. There's going to be loads of people there relying on me.
No memory card.
I am being Billy Big Bollocks. But honestly, Andre, I walk around in my house the night before, and I've got a checklist, and I'm just like Sergeant Major, like SD cards, check. cameras, check. I even bought the drone. I don't need the drone. I know
But
I was
just in
inside,
case.
but I was like, I'll take the drone. Just I need some aerial shots of this indoor place. It was just ridiculous, and I'd gone all daft about it. Anyway, next morning, I get up and I start editing again.
Yeah.
And then my mum was on my case, like, we've got to go. So I just grabbed all the bags, launched them in the car. I'm like, running, get there. 15 minutes beforehand, I'm talking to everyone and I'm just getting all my stuff ready. And I look in the bag and it just got me. And literally all my SD cards are all together in this case on my side table at home. And I knew I'd left them there. And it was an hour away and it's 15 minutes.
Away.
And I'm just running around Chatsworth like, where do I buy an SD card? Nobody knows. So anyway, me being me, I was that naughty lad at school, and I can't just give in, can't give up. So what I do, I just pretend everything's working fine. So I get them all set up onto tripods. I put them all in places. I'm sweating like mad. I've got a red face.
What are you going to do? Blame it on something later?
And you're so clever, man. You're me. You are literally me. And I'm going round to everyone and I'm making jokes. I'm literally going, oh yeah, I've got your best side, mate. Yeah, make sure you stay in that position. You look great. And all that stupid shit. And I'm just running around like, what am I going to do? So anyway, the only saving grace, I've got 3 cameras set up. And the only saving grace is I've got my iPhone held for the whole hour talk just in front of me, shaking like that.
Oh no, so you're using that footage instead.
And the only thing, like, so I got home and I'm driving back and my mum was like, you're a bit off today, what's up? And I didn't give it away.
Didn't dare tell.
I got home and I was like, right, what can I do? And I did. I had to just go to him because I was running around like Basil Fawlty. I was going like, yes, you're looking good doing all that.
No.
And I was.
Dare admit it.
It was no. So when I got back,
God.
I just said, yeah, corrupt cards, all 3 of them. You wouldn't believe it. Yeah, I didn't really get away with it, to be honest.
You've made me cry with that story.
But
I've got something in my eye.
I did end up sending them the iPhone footage, and
they appreciated that.
kind of, but I think they were
Not
pissed.
quite what we were expecting.
They were pissed, yeah.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be your job, but yeah, that was a painful day, man.
Were you being paid?
I don't worry, I didn't ask for any money. I was literally like,
That's the worst,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. I was just like, don't forget it. I'm gone.
I'm sorry, this is over.
You'd have to give
I'm
up
gonna
with
go
that.
change my career and.
I
go
remember
work at
one
Tesco's.
film we did. Do you know Local Healers? Hip hop duo. They're really good, man.
No, I don't think I do.
But
You have to introduce me.
Oh, I will. They're
Yeah, yeah.
so cool. But we did, and this is a quick one, but they did a film at this art exhibition, and it was literally my most proud film.
Oh, I've seen it. I think I've seen it.
Well, you might have seen a bit of it.
Maybe a clip.
But we
Seen
didn't
you
get to put it
advertise
up.
maybe, or
Yeah,
something like that
and it was
on
that
your
bit.
Instagram or...
It was like it went through his eye into his mind into the art exhibition. You
Nice.
know, us creating.
Yeah.
But I did loads of new like discoveries and like effects and things. And I was so proud of it until one day somebody saw that clip and then sent it to the artist that we used in that exhibition. And we thought we'd got all the rights for it because Ty had spoken to the art exhibition, everything. And she was just like, you're not using my art into your art. And we were like, what? And I was like, please, like, we'll promote you, we'll send it to whatever. Like, this is our favourite video. This is about mental health. We're really, please. And she's just like, no, not at all. She just wouldn't let us. It's just simple as that. Yeah. I was gutted, man.
She didn't give a reason?
No, not. She's just like, I don't want my art in your art. Some people, dude. No, I'd give reason. If I didn't want it, I would give valid reason. She's like, I don't need to give a reason. I don't want it. She's just it. And you're like, oh man, yeah. It was one of them days, man. You just write stuff up.
Sounds fun at parties.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Have you had other moments in which you were like, I don't think I'm going to recover from this. My filmmaking days are over.
Well, my filmmaking days kind of are over, really. I just do the YouTube. I just do the YouTube stuff now, man.
But there's a lot of production value behind that. It's clear you're entertaining.
Oh, thanks,
You
man, I
clearly
appreciate
put a lot of energy into it.
Oh,
it
that's
means a lot
hard,
to
though,
you.
I think.
You're so good, man. I mean
Thanks,
it.
man.
I'm not just.
I really do appreciate you saying that because I get like next level anxiety before
Really?
uploading a video. Yeah, man. Yeah, because you're really putting yourself out there.
You're in
aren't
your
you,
element
you know?
though, as
Thanks.
well.
I appreciate it. But yeah, you really like putting yourself out there. You know, lots of people with the YouTube stuff just have like faceless build videos where they're just like, it's just them making stuff. They're not like presenting as well. There's no
Were you
element
watching them before then?
Oh yeah, big YouTube consumer before. Yeah. Big
And
time.
you were just checking out what everyone's up to and thought, again, I can do better than this.
Maybe not better, of course, not better.
My own version.
But it was yeah, my own version, or it was like I'm making stuff anyway because that was my hobby. So it's like I'm making stuff anyway. I've studied film and TV, so you know I've got an interest in that too. So why don't I just like marry them two things and make my own channel and see how it goes, see where it goes. But I changed my style quite dramatically because in the beginning it was like piece to camera in a studio. For all the talk parts, the talky talks, and then it would like cut back to me making the thing, and there would be like voiceovers and stuff like that. Whereas now it's very much me in the garage, come on the journey with me as we make it, and I kind of feel like that's a bit more natural.
I was going to say, that's the authenticity behind it for me. I don't feel you're trying to plug me anything, sell me anything, be anything special. You're just like, this is what I like. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah,
Do you want to join in?
Yeah.
Like, and it really feels like that. You know, when you're watching a YouTube video and it's somebody who's trying to get hits and trying to get views, but they're like, "Hey, come on this journey," and you're like, "Come on, man, do you even like that? Are you passionate about that, or do you actually more passionate about the views?" And you don't feel like that. I just watching somebody do something they like.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm in.
Thank you. That's literally. Someone said to me, I was at my mate's 30th birthday, and he was like, where do you come up with the inspiration of the stuff you make? Because they're like super random. One week you're making a photo booth, and then next week you're making like some stainless steel dice.
Yeah,
like,
I watched that one as well.
Yeah, thanks.
That was as smooth as a dice could ever be.
Dude, that took.
How do you make them so smooth?
A lot of polishing.
That's on tour. You got a good set of dice.
Smooth as eggs.
So have you got other projects you've seen or thought of and you've gone, you know what, that looks cool? Have you got ideas in the mix?
Yeah, I've got some big ideas.
Hit us.
I'll hit you with the ideas.
Are you allowed to? Is this like
I can give you some
exclusive?
These are just ideas, so they might not even necessarily.
Okay, I can hear ideas.
Might not
then.
necessarily go for.
Not even made it to the pipeline yet.
No, just
they're at the roof of the pipe.
Yeah, just literally just some thoughts. I'd quite like to make a skateboard deck press.
What do you mean press?
So skateboards are made.
I understood all them words until the press part.
Okay, so a skateboard deck is usually, I think it's 7 layers of like Canadian maple.
Cool.
And they're like hatched in different ways. So the grain structure goes lengthways and then over the side. And that gives it like a rigid structure.
Would this constitute into the terms of carpentry now? Are you a carpenter too?
No, so, I don't know. So
Hang
like,
on, you're playing with wood.
You get so many people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a woodworker. And it's like, actually, mate, you're just a guy who owns a drill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love this condescending, snooty wood talk. You're not a carpenter.
So because I'm not a carpenter,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
get
a woodworker. I don't want to label myself
You've
as
got
such
imposter syndrome towards it.
Probably, yeah. I'm by trade a fabricator welder, so that's where I stand. But I do dabble in other things, other materials, just for shitting.
Hey man, fuck you, I'm a carpenter. Look at the stage you're sitting on.
It's really good. Super
I
love it.
manage that.
I
am
the
a
varnish.
carpenter. That's going straight on my CV.
You should set up your own business.
Yeah, that's I bet what people do.
Making custom furniture and shit.
I bet somebody just made like a table one day and it accidentally worked. And then after that, they're like, right, get me on Facebook Marketplace. Everyone's just coming back with the shittest stuff ever after that.
That's it. So I wouldn't call myself like I'm not really invested or involved in that. I'm not really that into woodwork personally, but some of my projects it needs it, so I have to dabble. But yeah, with the skateboard press, so you take these different layers of maple, usually it's maple, and then you like glue each layer, and then you press it in. Literally, it's like a shaped press, so it's shaped in like a form of the skateboard. So depending on what style you're going for, it has like different characteristics.
I didn't even know the different styles of skateboard.
Yeah. And
you open up doors for me, bro.
I'll open them doors. We'll beat the doors down, man. Anyway, so it then puts on loads of pressure, like tons of pressure, squidges it all together, and then the glue dries, and then you cut it out. But the actual press itself is quite an engineering like feat, because it's going to be a big steel structure, and it's going to have like these hydraulic like presses, like the rams that push it down and stuff.
Cool.
So it should be a good project.
Do you have all the technology to do this?
Yeah, I've got like, so at home my little home workshop
Yeah,
is
talk
only
us through it. Like, do a cribs on your home setup.
Virtual cribs. You have to take you on an imaginary journey.
You're cool, dude. Yeah. Go on, send us through it.
So it's a single garage, but it's got quite a high roof, which I like, and it's quite long. So it's like long for a garage. You couldn't get a car in there because you'd struggle to open the doors.
Right, yeah.
Garages normally, like, I don't know, they're supposed to be built for cars, but unless you're getting out the boot or the sunroof, it's...
So you can't fit a car in this garage?
You can fit a car in.
You can fit a car in, but you won't open the door. You won't be able to
leave the car.
Yeah. You got some roof, what's the problem?
Yeah, I have as well, yeah. Yeah, so I want more space. Yeah. But at the moment, you know, what I've got in there, I've got like a welder, I've got a fly press, I've got a new pillar drill, which I love at the moment. So
what do they do? So
it's just a drill that's like floor standing, but it's better than, it's like different to using like a hand drill, because you can get like more precise more precision.
Yeah.
Get more precision.
The more times you say it, the more I understand it.
Yeah, so it's a bit better. It's nice to work with.
Like, literally, as a kid, were you just fascinated by this? Like hand tools, dangerous stuff. Turn on a chainsaw and you thought, that's my bag?
A little bit. It was mainly just the making stuff that I was more interested in. Or like, I was kind of into like arts and crafts and stuff like that, you know, so it progressed from there. But my dad was an engineer, and when we actually lived together, he had a workshop and he would build bikes.
Cool.
So he is a trials rider, even now, and he's like, he's in his 70s, so, and he still rides today.
And would he have you helping make?
I'd like just sit in there and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that sparked an interest. And then I never really thought about engineering, because I was like, oh, I'm creative, I like making things, so I'll go into the arts. And that's where the film and TV stuff came from.
I must admit, from doing the buses and, you know, just simple things like taking out the seats, putting in a stage, seeing the electrics and helping out bits and bobs, all them elements, I am looking at everything in a different light now. When I look at like how something's been made, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, how's he pieced that together? And especially with carpentry, actually, maybe that's something in my soul speaking out. But I'm like, how's he actually drilled into that, though? He must have gone at a certain angle. How's that fit? I want to build some playhouses for when my daughter's around.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep looking at Pinterest, and it's great Pinterest to get inspiration, isn't it?
Amazing, yeah.
Got a shed load of pallets out there, and I just keep thinking, I can build a stage, but how's about a swing?
Yeah, exactly. Do it.
It's exciting, isn't it? People seeing just a pile of wood stacked up or something, and you can look at it and go, where could we go with that? What's next? And totally. I find that is exhilarating, actually. It's like when you come up with a film idea, and it's like, right, let's step one, draw it out, plan it, map it. It's interesting to see it like that.
For me, it was when I converted a van into a camper.
Oh, come on, mate.
So
yes.
that is similar to your bus.
Yeah.
These buses, two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Get it right. Come on.
Don't you dare mess about with my old farm bus vision. No.
But no, it's similarly to that. It was doing the camper, so that was like learning this, learning that, and then
what sort of, was it VW? What was
it? It was an LDV Maxus.
Oh, there's one over there.
Is there?
Did you see it?
Terrible vans.
Oh yeah, they
are awful vans. Don't buy an LDV Maxus.
Oh dear, my mate's trying to sell it, so you've just ruined him.
No, so buy that one then.
Yeah, buy that one. Yeah, they definitely aren't very good for waterproofing, I would say.
Yeah, well,
that was a big thing.
Mine blew up a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you know what your journey was of yours? Like, do you know what it was before? Because his was a mobile library.
A mobile library?
Yeah, they used to go around with all these books and stuff. So I was like,
how do you return them?
The books?
Or you just buy them?
I think, yeah.
Like maybe a bookshop?
Bookshop them. No.
Library?
I believe so. That's
can
what
you buy?
it was
You can buy books at a library too, right?
Yeah.
Or did he just rent them?
It was a mobile bookshop then. I mean, he told me library, but when
Library sounds better, doesn't
you
it?
posed that question forward, and I was like,
Maybe they just come back
holy
like
shit, it was
every
a
month or
bookshop.
something.
What's that?
Maybe they just do a return journey like an ice cream van.
Yeah, but I suppose so. Like, it doesn't have to constantly be moving around the world, does it? It could have been
Local.
in that location.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's
library.
better.
Yeah. We've sleuthed it. We've figured it out. Mobile library. That's sick.
Just because it's on wheels, we're like, oh my God, what about when it was in Australia? Well, how would they have got the books there?
Yeah. Sorry, my book's late. You're out of the country.
Yeah. So, I'm guessing a similar vehicle. So, did you get it in a tip state, or what was it like?
It wasn't great. It needed some work doing, which is why I bought it cheap. So I bought the van for, I think, 1,125 quid.
Okay.
So pretty cheap for a high roof, long wheelbase.
It's how much I've ended up paying for my bloody Citroen.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Eventually.
Vans get expensive. So.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I bought it pretty cheap, and then did a load of work on it and stuff. I sold it for like 10 grand, so it was pretty.
Wow.
Pretty nice.
Okay.
Made some profit.
That's exciting. So, but you said it was a ship van. So have they taken on a ship van?
No, it was fine by the time I sold it to them.
Yeah.
But when I owned it, it broke down a few times.
Do you know the history of it now? Do you know what it's gone on to do?
No, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
You've not had anybody come with a pitchfork.
I don't want to know either. No, yeah, exactly.
So,
sorry, guys.
But yeah, did you just rip it all out straight away?
Yeah, ripped it all out. Did a load of like body work on it and stuff like that.
Cool.
Gave it a full respray, and then kitted it out inside and out.
This is not something in my life I thought I'd ever be excited about. Honestly, as you get older, it's weird, the little things that excite you. Like, even this hardcore floor.
Yeah.
The whole week before, I was like, I can't believe it. I wanted this for ages. I'm going to hardcore the floor. I might even get a go on the dumper truck.
Yeah. Might put up some shelves later.
Yeah. But it really does excite me now. And especially when it comes to the term of like converting a van.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All the possibilities. And going on like the Facebook sites and stuff, pages.
The groups.
Oh,
yeah.
mate.
So much inspiration.
I love them.
Yeah.
My next is a double-decker.
A double-decker bus?
Yeah, double-decker. I've seen the one I want, and they're cheaper than single decks.
Really?
It's just where do you put a double-decker after?
Do you need a special license then?
Not to have one. No, I think I'd
'cause you
have
don't
it.
drive them
Yeah,
anyway.
that one. I'll drive this one. The end goal for the Old Farm Bus, or the big vision, is I want to be picked up by festivals.
Yeah.
And they see us as a venue. So we can take it away and then build like probably an area people can't see outside, but as big as what the hardcore area is, and then have like a farmy get up. Do you know, like hay bales and things?
Yeah. So
and then have a stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I want, is the Old Farm Bus to go to festivals and be driven around and tour. But until then, I'm happy with where it's at. And I think, we'd definitely have a double-decker, and I'll build like a cafe area on there and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that sounds ace.
I've got a man for it now, though. I've got somebody that knows
it.
what they're doing.
Well,
rather than me just YouTube tutorialing all the time and just shouting at myself.
You can learn so much on YouTube, though, man. YouTube's great for learning
It's so good, and it's for the now. Like, you learn most when you're desperate and seeking it, I feel.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, rather at school, it's like, you need to know this.
Yeah, and you're like, why? I'm not interested in learning
that. And it's like, for the future. I don't want to plan or learn for the future. I want to know what's going on here and now.
Yeah.
So like when I've been again doing a film and the guys have come back to me and said, "Oh, we want you to do this special effect and do this in." It's like,
right.
Don't know how to do that, but I've got to do it because they want it. So and it's stuck with me then because it's for the now. And I think if most
and you're using it as well.
Yeah, 100%. It sticks.
For me, that was like maths.
Okay.
So in school, I just like coasted with maths and stuff.
Really?
But now, when I attended college for the engineering, the fabrication, welding, metallurgy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I needed to like relearn all maths, and it was like stuff that I couldn't remember how to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, school was so long ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you need to know like Pythagoras theorem, trigonometry, and stuff like that. I was like, what?
Yeah. That nervous voice just came out.
Oh God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, sure. Then you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay. So yeah, I had to go through a bit of a relearning stage of that. So that was interesting. But like you said, it was because I needed it that I was 10 times more interested in learning it as an adult than I was as a child, you know.
That's it, man. At school, if you asked me to do the Pythagoras theory or algebra, I always put forward an argument. I said, why am I doing this? I don't need it. I don't need it. And honestly, if the teachers were as good to have just said, it's for this exam, if you pass this exam, it opens up doors, that would have been enough, I think, for me to actually try. But they wouldn't even give me that. They just shouted and said, do it. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Why?
I
What
don't
reason?
do things because people just say do them.
Yeah.
That's not how I work. Keep taking me down the line, though, man. I don't want to just veer off, excuse the pun, from the LDV,
LDV.
because I'm excited about that. Tell me what you went through to do it and how long it took and things.
So it probably took longer than it should have, but that's with every project.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, this won't take too
Was
long.
it a
This
rust
is
box? Was it
yeah, it needed some work. It wasn't too rusty.
not as bad as the underneath of my van then?
The underneath of your van scared me. When you sent me that video, you're like, hey man, I need a welder. Will you weld this for me? I was just straight up like, nah, man. That's way too big a project for me. I ain't got the time for
I
that.
wonder why the police all turned up at my door. I was just like, get him out of here. It's bad, innit?
You know, yeah. It was pretty bad.
I've heard what I need to do is get just new panels for it.
Right.
And then they can hopefully weld them and just cut out all the shit and put new panels
That's
in.
the thing with rust, man. You think you'll see a hole and it'll be like, you know, this big.
Yee big, yeah.
Yay big, inch squared, something like that. And then you'll start to like, you know,
Chip away.
and then it'll be like a foot. Because it just rots. It's
Wow.
like cancer. It just keeps
Do you know
going.
why they use metal? Is there anything they could use that...
Plastic cars wouldn't be very safe, would
No, they wouldn't. But there's got out of all the materials
Eggshells and polystyrene.
we've got on this planet,
They
I'm
could-
sure there's something better.
So if they use something like stainless steel,
Yes.
that, you know, it's corrosive resistant. It will still corrode, but only if, you know, you get chips or you get a reason for it to, some sort of defect. But that's likely to happen in a vehicle anyway. And the stainless is so much more expensive.
Really? So
So
it's
much more expensive
money.
than and it's heavy and it's harder. It has different characteristics. Whereas if you're just using mild steel, I mean, cars
Yeah.
are usually like, you know, made of 0.9
Because
mil.
in my head, I'm
it's
like,
very thin sheet.
they're doing what Apple did to us. Do you know where they're like...
They're making it
make
so that
them
it rusts,
to-
so I buy a
to
new
break
one. Oh, well,
and-
the DeLorean was made of stainless steel.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it does happen then.
It does. It can
But
happen.
even, like,
But
we
it's
were laughing
expensive.
at plastic, but is there not like not a silly, flimsy little plastic, but is there not like a really strong...
Yeah, well, I mean, there's hard plastics on your car. There's hard
plastics.
plastics like your bumpers and stuff like that.
I'm trying to figure this all out now. I'm like, right, maybe
Yeah.
a car
But for
company's
structure,
watching
I don't
this.
think it would. Yeah. I don't know whether it'd be feasible, but there's got to be. There's got to be
I
some
think there's
way.
something out there, mate.
I mean, painted mild steel or low carbon steel should perform.
I was thinking
well.
of carbon fibre, but I bet that's expensive, isn't
Carbon fibre is expensive, but it's cool though. Eh?
It's cool, isn't
It's
it?
cool.
Yeah.
Looks cool,
Maybe I can buy
performs
some of
well.
that for under my van.
Yeah, just like you see it so often, you know,
Little
when
sheets.
you're buying a second-hand van, and you're like, oh yeah, has it got any rust? And the person's like, no man, no rust. And you look underneath, and it's just full of like fiberglass that
Oh,
they've
yeah,
just like
yeah,
covered
yeah.
it and painted over it, hoping you won't notice.
Well, to be fair,
Come on,
man, I'm just not out of my knowledge base. Do you know what I mean? I went and saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'd already the week before that got a guy to come and look at a van, but I had to pay him 80 quid to look at it and tell me it was shit.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? He just come to see it, felt underneath and said, "You don't want this." And I was like, okay.
Or what, you paid him to come
to
along
just
with
come and
you
look.
to check
yeah,
the van?
just because
Oh,
I didn't.
you want my mate,
I didn't
man.
know you guys were there.
Yeah, I'm not that great for that. I mean, I can tell you if something's rusty or
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that sort of thing. But mechanical wise, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not the guy for
I
that.
know for the future, dude.
Yeah. But my friend is a mechanic,
And
so
he would have just come down and
he'd
checked it.
have come down and helped you.
Yeah, it was
probably
quite,
for less than 80 quid.
quite
Pay
emotional.
him some fuel, buy him a beer.
I give him a quick 20.
yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I was so after that 80 quid down the pan, I thought I can't do that again. So I just thought, right, I'm going to go and see one. Does it move? Yes. I don't know what else to look for, to be honest.
Yeah. Does it turn over? Am I going to die?
Yeah, and it got me. I mean, it's had me around the country already. I've been to like East Sussex and places like that, but eventually it it did stop going.
Yeah, it bit the dust. Was it a bang or just a slow degrade?
It was the ignition, actually.
Oh, really?
A thing with them, like the ignition snaps inside, and then it can't turn over
in the barrel. Like,
yeah.
Oh no.
So then I had to get a push start. But then I was like, okay, you can fix it, cool. But I've got the dodgy MOT that the guy left me.
Oh, nice.
Can you just check out everything and just see what we need doing? And they're like,
yeah. All of this.
Yeah, that was painful.
4-page essay.
Yeah.
Speaking of lock barrels, you know Jack Lightfoot, Taurus Energy?
Yes, yeah.
Me and him were at Bearded Theory one year, right? And we're sleeping in the back of my van. And all of a sudden, just like the central locking system fails and locks us out.
Okay.
Keys, wallet, everything that we need are in the van. So we're locked out of this van, and we're in this car park. Like, so I didn't want to just like smash the window, and then people think like we're trying to rob the van or like, all this stuff. So we look around for this security person, and they're like, "Oh, you want the head of security for that? His name's Biscuit." So we're like, okay. And they're like, yeah, he's this really tall guy. He's called Biscuit. Go find him. So we're looking around for like 2.5 hours for this security guy called Biscuit, like asking people, like they're going to know, excuse me, I'm looking for this guy called Biscuit. Like, it was ridiculous just to get permission to break into my own van.
Oh,
because
mate.
the central locking system had failed. It was ridiculous.
So, did you find Biscuit?
We found him.
You found, okay.
Yeah, and he was like this massive dude, like really intimidating. And I was like, yeah, I need to break into this van. I do own it. And he was like, can you prove that you own it? I was like, yeah, but everything that proves it is in there. Like,
okay.
You know, so he hands me this torch and he was like, okay, it's your van. You've got to break into it. Like, he was like, I put my jacket against the window and then you hit the glass and break it.
So he knew how to do it.
He knew
though?
how to break into a van.
Did he?
Yeah, he knew it.
What a geezer. I like him.
Yeah, he was cool, man.
I like Biscuit.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. Yeah, he was actually dead sound. To be fair. Like, yeah. But.
So, and with your van, have you been to other countries? Have you been around the world?
No, man. I another half hour. Oh, it just flies, doesn't it?
You just know what we're doing.
Yeah. No, I didn't do too much traveling in the van. I did some solo traveling though, which was good, but no without a van. I don't know whether I'd.
What solo traveling are we talking?
So just like backpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in you went like on a plane and
went on a plane and then did some hitchhiking and stuff like that.
Cool.
And yeah, that was really cool, man.
What were you up to?
So I did 6 different countries, but I did Spain and the Canary Islands, which are technically the same country, but they're like nowhere near.
Yeah.
This, you know. So I did that.
No, you definitely count them as 2 dudes.
Yeah. Well, then it was 7.
Yeah.
yeah. Then it was 7. But yeah. It was pretty good.
What's hitchhiking like?
It depends where you are.
But like, have you had a uh-oh moment?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just one.
Dive in.
Everybody else was sound. So
Really?
I had like. I was planning on doing some hitchhiking when I was in Portugal.
Yeah.
And I said to the woman in the hostel, I was like, where's the best place for me to get picked up? Like, where should I go? And she was like, picked up for what? Well, I was like, I'm going to do some hitchhiking. And she was like, what's that? And I was like, I think they call it like auto stop in Europe or whatever. And she was like, no, we don't do that here. Like, you're going to really struggle. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, God, like, am I just going to be stood at the side of the road for the rest of, like, the week? Or, so I took, like, loads of water with me. And I was, like, fully, like, planning to, like, basically just walk up the country.
Oh,
and, yeah.
On your own?
On my own.
Okay.
On my own. And I stuck my thumb out. And within 30 seconds, somebody picked me up.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, like, straight away. And he said the same thing. He was like, I saw you and I'm in a hurry to get to where I need to be, but I had to pull over because I've never seen anybody do that before and I've only ever seen it in the movies. And I knew you'd be stuck out here if I didn't pick you up. He was like, how long have you been waiting there? And I was like, 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like crazy.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So he picked me up, him and his sister. So he drove me to where, like, as far as he could. And then somebody else picked me up. And he was like really excited that he'd seen a hitchhiker, and he was like, "Oh wow, this is like really cool."
Because you're quite a cool-looking hitchhiker. If I was going to pick one up, I'd be like...
Well, back then I had like dreadlocks down my back, if you remember, like those days.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so I looked the part.
Yeah.
I looked the part, like white guy with dreads, big backpack, you know.
He means business.
He needs business. Maybe he'll buy some drugs off me. I don't know. I got offered drugs so many times just.
But what was the moment where you're feeling ropey? Where, yeah.
So this was this one time, like I just got off this boat, and this guy like was like looking at me, like just staring at me, and I was kind of like, oh, you know, he's probably not really seen anybody, like he's probably wondering what I'm doing or whatever.
Yeah.
And he starts like talking to me, and like asked what language I speak. I said I speak English. He was like, I don't speak English, but I can speak German. I was like, oh, I did German in school, so I might be able to muddle through. So I'm like trying to communicate with him. And then he was like, all right, cool, where are you going? I was like, oh, I'm actually just, you know, staying at this hostel, but it's like 5 miles away or whatever. And he was like, oh, I'll take you. I was like, all right, we could do that. Yeah, cool. And I was like about to get in his car, and he starts like talking about where we were. And I was like, oh yeah, it's really nice here. And he was like, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I was like, yeah, it is beautiful. And he was like, no, you beautiful. You're a beautiful man. And all this stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't really want to get in your car anymore. Like, what? But I've already agreed. So I was like, I think actually it's a really nice day. Like, I think we're gonna walk.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like, you know, come in my car and we'll go for a drive and I'll show you my house. I was like, no, you won't. Like, get away from me. And then we no tussles like fully happened, but I managed to worm my way out. But I was like super paranoid on the way home because I'm pretty sure he drove past me like 3 times.
3 times, just checking out what's going on.
Yeah, where's he going? I was
has he made a mistake and he's going to turn back round and do this emotional run?
Well, I was
Coldplay
thinking,
on in the background.
Coldplay. Yeah. That would just make it so harrowing.
Don't go.
Yeah, so I was really worried that because I was like, did I tell him what hostel I was staying at? You know, or did I just say it was 5 miles away? Did I tell him where it was? Like, is he going to try and stalk me? Am I going to wake up murdered in the morning? You know, like, not that you can do that, but
I remember I was in South Africa.
Oh, nice.
And me and my one of my partners, Mikey,
one of,
but no, my ex-partner, like who I was going out with at the time, we went to Johannesburg.
Oh yeah,
and
crazy.
Well, yeah, here we go.
Bet it was mad.
Or for about 8 months, we've been living in Pretoria.
Oh, okay.
Which is Pretoria.
One of them. However.
One of the Torias, and it was pretty safe. It wasn't safe, but you know, like where we were in this little like looking after monkeys and primates.
Right.
We're cool. A few things happened, and there's definitely some stories there where it went ropey, but we were pretty cool. Now, we went on this thing called the Bas bus for the last 3 months of travelling. We just wanted to go all the way up and down the coast of South Africa. So we got on the Bas bus at Pretoria and then went all the way to Cape Town and then back to Joburg. And Joburg was the moment home. So I've been in South Africa for about 10 months at this point.
Gotcha.
And I think I'm Billy Big Bollocks then. I'm like, I do South Africa. I know South Africa. I'm cool. And anyway, we go one day in Joburg and everyone's like, I know you're like travellers and I know you know what you're doing, but like when you go to Joburg, just be careful.
Watch your back
And be wise of where you are and just be conscious of what's going on.
Who's around you. And
anyway, Mikey being Mikey is sort of like, nah.
I know what I'm doing.
I know. I've been on
me.
They have these like, have you seen the white buses in South Africa?
No.
They're like basic like just vans, just cram full of people. Everyone gets on. And I was going on them all the time and just having the best day. Everyone was laughing because I was the only white guy, token white guy. And they were like, coming and talking to me and just having a really funny day.
Yeah.
And they really liked me. Anyway, I was like, we're going to be fine in Joburg. So we got on one of those buses in the midst of Joburg, like just on the edge, trying to go into the heart of it. And everyone just said, don't do that. That's the one thing we ask. Don't go into the heart of Joburg.
Right.
Just stick out. For white people, it's going to be very, very ropey and dangerous.
Oh, okay.
We got on it. And in the first 10 to 15 minutes, I knew straight up. I was like, I'm with a very beautiful blonde white girl.
Oh, okay.
There's me.
Yeah.
And it's getting darker, and it's like starting to like go into the night. I look out the window, and then there's a dead body. So I see my first dead ever body, and it's
Oh my
like
God.
really close, and it hit rigor mortis stage. Anyway, this guy come and sat next to me, and he went, "What are you doing here?" and he's like, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know, mate, but I wished I wasn't." And he goes, "Yeah, you're in danger." And he kept like just telling me like, this isn't the place for you to be. I went, "Why is that dead body out there?" And he said, basically, if people go to move that body, it's their responsibility. So they have to pay to get it like buried, or they have to sort it out. So nobody touches it. Not even the police. They just leave it. I don't know if things have changed or what I'm speaking now, but this was about 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe more now. Anyway, I remember this was a moment where I was like, I'm going to die. I'm dying here. So we're walking out of the bus, and everybody just turns and just comes towards us swarm. And the guy that sat with me said, "Follow me."
So he was like helping you.
And he was like, "Come, just follow me. Like, come with me." So we ran off, and everyone's like shouting at us and trying to get money and do whatever.
Oh, well, right.
They're
Yeah. They want
shouting
your attention
things. Anyway, and I thought, I'm just following this bloke. He could be taking me down anywhere.
Yeah.
But respect to him, because I was like, mate, I've only got my card on me as well. I've not got any rands or money. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he literally took my hand, gave me 50 rand, and said, "I'm going to get you out of here." And then I trusted him at that moment, because I was like, right, he's giving me some money. He's going to look after us. He's real. We got to this taxi rank, and he went and got this taxi, but then all the taxi guys got out of the cars and wanted us to take us places.
You were like the white man.
Yeah, I think the money man. Apparently, definitely not true. And then suddenly this happened. Genuine. All the taxi companies started having a massive fist fight.
No way.
Yeah. And there was this guy just like, he is mine. And he just started smashing into each other. So the guy just shoved me and my ex, my partner, into the car and said, "Get in, lock the doors." Ooh. We locked the doors, and then suddenly the man who won the taxi fight, he got into the driver's seat and then just sped off. And so I was like, "Oh, thank God we're out." But I knew where the hostel was. It was so funny. The name was called Brown's Hostel or something, because it was known for the biggest heroin rig. It was where the mafia used to like produce heroin and stuff.
Wow.
That was the hostel we were staying at. It was called Brown something. Anyway, I knew exactly where it was, and the guy was not taking us there. So I was like, he was doing all this backdoor, like, long driving stuff.
He was just trying to get more money out of you.
Which I was fine with, but I honestly, my head was like, he's going to take us down a alley and have a gun here. So I sat up front, and I just had my arm here for, if he went to grab, I was just going to start smashing. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had every intention of just punching as hard as I could.
Yeah.
But eventually, like, I just said, "Hey, mate, I think I know whereabouts we are now. I've seen a few things I noticed. Drop us here." And he did, and that was it. But honestly, the whole day, like, in that 3-hour period, I was just like up and down. Down. Oh, but they're the moments you kind of live for as well, aren't they? As well, like, it's a story.
That's so intense.
It's adrenaline. It's
as if
great.
they had a fist fight over you. That's crazy.
Man, I remember it so well.
I saw something that was pretty mad when I was away.
Okay.
I was in Portugal. Not quite as mad as yours, but still pretty mad.
Mate, we like mad.
So I'm in Portugal, and I'm there on my own, and I've managed to get to Lisbon, but by the time I've arrived, it's like super, super late. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I didn't know where any hostels were. I just arrived, and I'm walking around, and this guy like gets my attention, and I was thinking, right, what's this guy? What's he selling? What's he, whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you look lost, And I was like, "Oh, your accent." He was like, "Yeah, I'm from Belgium." I was like, "Oh, cool. Sweet. Okay, nice." And he was like, "Oh, I'll show you where a hostel is." So he shows me this hostel, and me and him kind of like make friends. He's like my buddy now. He's on his own, I'm on my own. So we decide to go out together, and it's like this big festival. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called or what they were celebrating. It's like some day of this saint, and it's something to do with sardines or some fish. Everybody's got like these fish hats on.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I might have seen it before on a travel program.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but I was there for that weekend, and it was just potluck. Like, oh my God, like this is awesome. And they've got like partying in the streets. They've got like, loads of street performers, loads of street food, and everywhere is rammed. We go to this like nightclub that has a balcony, and the DJ's got all of his rig on the balcony just playing out to the crowd. Yeah, and they're just selling drinks out the windows and stuff like that. It was wicked.
Wow.
We have an amazing time, and then we like met this Australian guy, and he was huge, like this big Australian dude. Anyway, he winds up in a tussle with some locals.
Did you see why? Like, you just saw it all start kicking off?
Just started seeing it kicking off.
Yeah.
Sort of corner of my eye, like, what's going on over there? Like, clocked it, and then all of a sudden, he gets like jumped by like 7 people.
Oh.
And they're smashing bottles over his head. They're taking drinks out of people's hands, like strangers' hands, and smashing bottles on him.
Shit.
And this crowd just opens up. You know how it does? It just circles.
Yeah,
and there's just a circle, and there's this fight in the middle. Anyway, he goes down, and I'm like, are we all just going to stand here and watch this happen?
Yeah.
And they were literally breaking bottles on his head and then stabbing him with the ends of the bottles.
Oh.
And like kicking him, stamping on him. And I was like, shit, this guy's going to fucking die.
Yeah.
In front of us. And we're all just going to stand here and watch. And there's hundreds of people around. Like, if we all team up, we'd easily save this man. But like nobody did. Nobody did anything. We all just stood there. And it got to the point where I was like, I yelled out loud, like, are we all just going to stand here? Like, what are we going to do? And I turned to somebody else who I didn't know, just some stranger. And I said, how do you say stop in Portuguese? And he told me, I can't remember what it was. And I just was like, right, I'm going in. And I run in, and I'm yelling, stop. And I'm trying to pull these people off him, dodging punches. And all my main focus was, if I go in, everybody else will kind of take a leap of faith too. And come in and help. They just need that one person. There's like a theory. It's like a crowd theory.
I've seen a video on this towards the psychology of how people work.
It's no one's responsibility, like kind of thing.
It's not even always. It's not the one person. It's the second person.
That's it.
Apparently, it was in a dance. They're doing this
like
guy,
that.
and this guy's just doing a daft dance, and then everyone's laughing at him. Person 2 comes over, they're going, and because that started a group in essence, like that's what brings the herd along, and it just turns into a pack of everyone.
Well, that fully explains what happened next.
Right, okay.
Because I went in thinking everybody else would join in.
Yeah.
Nobody else joined in.
Right.
I was just solo in it, trying to save this dude.
I can imagine you doing that as well. I can literally picture it.
Man, I was
people
going
knew you, like some might know you on this and some might not, but you are that heart of like, you just got a soul about you where you're like,
Thanks,
come
man.
on, let's make everyone do the best night possible and save this guy.
Yeah, but no one did. So after that, it was like, right, I'm not going to be able to fight off these 7 people with weapons, So what do? I was, trying to get him on his feet.
Wow.
Pull him up, but he was huge.
Yeah.
Like, he's massive. He's like at least 6'6". I'm 5'9".
Bloody
yeah. So managed to like skip him up. His shirt has been completely ripped from his body.
apart.
He's literally got stab wounds in his
Flipping
torso.
heck.
Blood's everywhere. I'm covered in blood just from being near him. People are like being splattered by it.
Wow.
It was really intense. And managed to get him on his feet. And the second he caught his balance, he just ran. And he was like pushing through the crowd, and they were like taking bottles and throwing them at him, chasing him down. And then I turned around to that Remy guy, and he was like just like frozen in fear, like everybody else was, really.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like, did that just happen? Like, what the fuck? I hope that guy's all right. Like, never ever heard from him again. Don't know whether he made it home. Don't know whether they caught up to him. Nothing. He just, I hope he got away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the police turn up, and everybody's like scattering now because the police are here. And Remy was like obsessed with photography. He took pictures of everything. Remy was the guy who I met at the hostel. So he was like, oh, I want to take some pictures of the crowd. He's taking pictures. And then all of a sudden this random dude, plainclothed, wasn't a police officer, comes up to him and just slaps his camera clean out of his hand straight onto the ground, and then starts throwing punches at him. We're like, what the hell's going on? So both like I've run in like what the hell's going on, you know? And the police see it.
Yeah.
And they're intimidating police. They've got shotguns and
geezers,
shit. Yeah. So they come running over. And the first and only time in my life, I thought, oh, good, the police.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God, the police. They had to save us.
We are saved.
Did they save us? No.
No.
They thought that we were the ones
Doing the
causing
altercation.
the trouble. And then now the police are throwing punches at us.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't fight.
Punches as well.
Punches. I can't fight a policeman.
No.
Like, I you know, how am I going to get out of this? So put up some blocks, and I was like, oh, I can't punch him back, and he's got a gun. Like, what do I do? I was like, I'll turn and run. So I turned around to run, and as I did that, I took 2 steps, and then I just felt his foot, steel toe cap boots, literally perfect accuracy between both my butt cheeks, straight into my arse. Literally, like, in there, man. It took me off both my feet, and I land starfish flat on the floor, face down.
Mate. Well, I bet that's the biggest pain you've ever been through.
I was bleeding in all sorts, like, full-on rectal hemorrhage.
You look like a jam donut down there.
Oh, dude, it was way worse than that. Anyway, I struggled to my feet, and I just get up, like, stumbling, and I'm like running, and I see Remy run past me. I'm like, okay, cool, he's safe. Just follow him. I follow him. We run around this corner, around this other corner, around this other corner, and then we're like panting. You know, like both were quite pissed as well. I was like, fucking hell, has all this just happened? You know, this is crazy. And he was like, wow, like, you know, the experience, like what you said of this. And then he turns around and he was like, oh, we need to go back. I was like, fuck off, I'm not going back there. And he was like, the camera battery, like the battery out of my camera is missing, and I don't have a spare. So I need to go back and find it.
Oh my God.
So he makes us go back and find this. We do find it, like, and we didn't run into any of the police.
Cool.
Yeah, we did find it, because I think it fell out when that guy.
Yeah. Makes sense. But what a knobhead though! Just slaps the camera out and starts smashing in.
Don't even know who he was. I was like, was he a plainclothes police officer? Or something like that? Or was it because we were taking pictures and they didn't want bad press about the incident?
I've never understood the group mentality thing. I just don't get it. And when people all turn to sheep as well and just watch and get the phones out, and film it, I don't understand what that is in people's DNA, in their psychology and how they act, what they're thinking at that time. Because my initial thing, it happened in Barcelona with my mum and dad, but there was a big fight crack off, and this woman's getting battered. I see a woman by a man, a fully grown man, smashing her. And my mum's a big feminist and strong woman, and she like would intervene, and she was trying to, but like she didn't want to be hurt.
Oh, okay.
But there's also so many people just watching him. My dad's like, don't get involved. And
like, why?
For me, I'm like, I got to. Like, and I'm not trying to be like
Mr.
Mikey,
Big Bollocks.
Mikey Markham, the saviour of the day. But it's just like, there's something deep rooted in me when I see it unjust happen or something unfair or what shouldn't be happening. Like yourself, I have to get involved. I have to be in the middle of it. I don't know what the situation is, but I'm like, listen, you can't just stop smashing into a woman in the middle of the street
and
everyone starts going, ooh,
yeah.
Oh no, and all that. I'm like, fucking do something. There's like 100 of us here.
Yeah,
let's all just grab him.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Like, I don't get it.
My thought that I went through was literally, if this guy dies in front of me and I could have done something to prevent it, am I going to be able to live with myself knowing that I didn't? You know what I mean?
100%. You may have saved that guy's life. You don't know what happened next.
Don't know what happened.
Respect.
Oh man, it was crazy.
It's like in London, that recent thing where that guy had the machete and was doing a suicide attempt, a bomber. I think it was about like last year or the year before, but somebody like took him down, and then loads of other people got involved. I mean, again, they're all in critical conditions, but you don't know what would happen until you're in that situation. But there's been a lot where on very micro scales, I've seen bullying happen, that woman getting hit or something, and I'm like shouting and in the middle of it. I remember in Derby, me and Jagger went out, and there was a fight happening against a massive guy and a little guy, and I just ran in and picked the little guy up and ran off
Over your
with him.
shoulder.
I literally did. A fireman lifted him and just ran away.
Nice.
And I think everyone was laughing because they were like, "Who does that?" And I want all his mates were like stood round, smack him, all that shit, and I'm like, fuck that, he's going to get knocked out, he's going to end up with a broken nose or face or whatever, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life. Let's go pick him up and fuck off with him.
Let's take him out of the situation.
Yeah, I'm not being a hero, I'm just saying, like, if you can do your best in that situation, bloody do it.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Yeah.
Matey, we've got lives to live, we've got places to be, we've got things to do, but I bloody love this.
Yeah.
Will you come back on?
Of course.
Will you do it again?
Of course.
Be a part of the Old Farm Bus?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Mate, you're wicked.
Really nice. It's so
this.
warm in here. We're gonna corona it up and shake hands.
Oh no! We didn't touch. I
didn't touch.
definitely didn't touch. I promise you. I'm just gonna keep that
Totally
on mine.
appropriate.
Maybe a little finger dab.
It's alright, we'll sanitize up. Just don't touch your face.
Right, guys, you've been a part of the Old Farm Bus, Back of the Bus sessions with André. Where can they find you, André?
André T Kemp on YouTube.
And that's all.
Or on Instagram, André T Kemp, at André T Kemp, one word.
Go and check this guy out. It's lovely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for being here, guys. Peace, love, unity. Let's be good.